Hi, this is Denise LaRosa, and you're listening to Mom Talk with Denise LaRosa, a podcast show created by a mom for moms. I do not take for granted that you have a lot on your plate, yet you are taking the time to listen to my show. I am truly grateful. Be sure to stay connected by visiting www.deniseandlarosa.com, following me on Twitter at Denise and LaRosa, and liking my Facebook page, Mom Talk with Denise LaRosa. It is my hope that Mom Talk with Denise LaRosa will motivate, inspire, and inform you along your journey in motherhood. So let's dive in. School supplies. We've all been there as students, and many of you as mothers. Think about how much money you have spent on school supplies over the years. For a family that cannot even afford a school lunch, school supplies are a luxury that can seem unattainable. Thankfully, there is an organization that provides this need for families. The Education Partnership is a nonprofit organization dedicated to addressing educational inequities by providing and enabling access to the tools and resources necessary to support teachers and enhance a student's ability to learn and succeed. The Education Partnership's approach to addressing educational inequities is pragmatic and results-driven, as best exemplified by the organization's core program, providing school and classroom supplies at no charge to schools where at least 70% of the student body qualifies for the National School Lunch Program. The Education Partnership is based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and serves a geographic area encompassing 6 counties: Allegheny, Armstrong, Beaver, Butler, Washington, and Westmoreland. How great is the need? Let's look at some national numbers. 31.3 million children in the U.S. received their lunch each day through the National School Lunch Program in the fiscal year of 2009. $1,200 is the national annual average teachers spend to buy essential school and classroom supplies for the academic growth of children. That's approximately $3.88 billion total. Locally, 1 in 12 students in the Education Partnership 6-county service area qualify to receive school and classroom supplies at no cost. Nearly 1 in 7 students in Allegheny County alone qualify for the program. 96 is the number of schools eligible for the Educational Partnerships program in the 6-county service region alone. As a former elementary school teacher, I am here to tell you that the need is real. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" Well, I had the opportunity to speak with the Education Partnership's Executive Director, Justin Brown, while he was en route to making a special delivery of school supplies. Justin Brown exemplifies and explains how we can help change children's lives.
I'm thrilled with the work that you're doing, and very passionate about the work that we're doing. So I'd be happy to help spread the word and talk about it.
Awesome. Sounds good. So I guess I'll begin. For those who are not familiar with the Education Partnership, what exactly is the mission of your organization?
The Education Partnership is designed to address educational inequities, and that's a great word that we've come to love. Any place where there's an unlevel, uneven playing field. So in casual terms, we aim to bridge the gap between what students have and what they need. And the natural implementation of that mission is to basically employ the students' teachers as your distribution network. And along the way, why not bless the teachers with what they need? So that kind of gives it in a nutshell what the cycle is. So teachers can come to our resource center, shop at no cost for school and classroom supplies that they need. And this includes all the essential basic supplies up to gifts and items from Joann Fabrics for the school play, decorations for the classroom, a desk, a chair, a file cabinet. So whatever they find that they're in need of, we try to provide so that they can go and specifically address the need of their students.
That's incredible. I just know, speaking from being an educator, that just is an invaluable resource to know that the Education Partnership exists. It's out there to really fill that void, to fill that need, because it's definitely a need. I don't think people realize how much money, teachers actually spend on supplies. I know I spent a good 5 to 10% of my salary a year. I didn't realize it until tax time came around, and I'm like, wow, I just, because I'm doing it, because you do it without thinking. Before I became a mother, biologically speaking, I always said I had about a good, 500 to 1,000 babies by the time I, taught dance and elementary head. So,
that's right.
You just do. It's just like your children that you have biologically, or through adoption, whatever. You just do what you have to do to help them succeed, and so that is just amazing to know that you guys are here for the teacher and for the students to really fill that gap. So how real is this need on the local and national scale, Justin?
Well, we're here in December, Denise, and this is tax time, and it's interesting that you brought that up because there was a tax deduction available for teachers for $250, but from what I understand, even that has gone away. So it is weird to think about a private individual subsidizing public education, but I think you hit the nail on the head. I think a teacher in their DNA is a mother. I think the concern and the care is, and I know that I've seen teachers have, shown me their tax. They couldn't deduct it, but they spent $2,000-3,000 a year, in that classroom. And I don't think people realize it at all, that this is very real, and it's very real here at home. This is not the Dominican Republic. This is right here, Allegheny County. We actually service our target area is 6 counties, the 5 counties surrounding Allegheny County, and the need is deep. There is not a capacity to provide these supplies that are now escalating, every year to you're somewhere between $60 and $80 a student to get them their school supplies, for back to school, and that represents a very real hardship for what we know of is 38,000 students in 6 counties, 122 schools, plus their teachers.
Oh, yes. That is just, when you put the numbers out there like that, you can really just sense the need that is out there, the need that exists. And, we want our children to get a high-quality education. We want them to succeed academically speaking, but what the tools that they need, these learning tools, such as crayons, pencils, notebook, paper, these are simple things that maybe some of us don't even really think about, but it is an issue. I've had times where I actually had to, I had a student who didn't turn in homework, and this happened several times throughout my career, and you wonder, a lot of times the first question that comes to mind is, well, why didn't you do your homework? Where is your homework? Those kinds of questions. Well, beneath the surface, I was able to kind of, peel away at the issue and found out that a lot of times the students wouldn't even have pencils at home or notebook paper at home to finish the homework. So that's serious stuff. That's how real this is, and that's the need that you're feeling for these students.
It's a surprise to so many people, and I think the biggest surprise for us, Denise, now that we're in our 4th year of doing this, is really the feedback that we get from our teachers. We survey teachers to death. Every time they come in, they take a survey. They don't write a check, but they do take a survey. And when we learn the impact that we're having in the classrooms, and even, like you said, at home with the family, when we give a school kid or they get supplies that they can take home, we hear they're often shared with siblings. So now everyone's getting their homework done. So it is such a surprise that just a simple thing like a box of crayons can have such a profound effect. And I can get real carried away with this topic, but I always end up with the word negotiate. It's like, how else can a teacher negotiate education in a classroom without the implement, without the tools, without the physical way to transfer and to facilitate the education process? You can't do it without it.
Right.
It's very interesting.
Yes, absolutely. How do teachers, how do the students, how do they actually tap into the resources that the Education Partnership actually have to offer?
Well, it's pretty simple. We're able to get the information of who's eligible from the state of Pennsylvania's Food and Nutrition website. We use the metric that so many nonprofits use of the free reduced lunch qualification. So we're able to look at every school in Pennsylvania, and we do have a list of, like I said, we have a list of 122 schools that we know that at least 70% of the students in that school qualify for the National Lunch Program. And that gives our donors comfort to know that, let's face it, they don't want to lose a sale at the cash register. So a donor will donate school supplies because the likelihood, of a student who's on the National Lunch Program, the likelihood that they're losing a customer is not very good. These folks are having a hard time putting food on the table, let alone school supplies in a backpack for their kids. So everyone's comfortable with at least 70% of that student population being on the National Lunch Program. Once we contact the school and let them know they're eligible, then the school can fill out an application and send it to us. And we have an unbiased independent review committee made up of industry professionals, educational professionals, and they go through and basically score the application. And then we decide whether or not we have the capacity to serve that school. So our capacity has been increasing dramatically every year, which we're very, very grateful for. But that's how the process works.
Great. Well, it's just so awesome that I have the opportunity to get this information out there to my listeners, because if you are a parent or a teacher, whatever your role is in a situation like this, knowing that the education partnership exists, you can go to your school and you can urge them to apply.
Exactly.
I'm sure that that's really kind of how, the word gets out, I guess. Is that correct, Justin? Would you say, it's just more people as they've learned about the education partnership, they spread the word?
Well, I would never, ever deny the power of word of mouth. So, yes, I will say yes to that. But in addition to that, we email, we snail mail, we phone call, we fax, we text, we send smoke signals. We'll do anything we can to get schools to apply, because if they're eligible, they should apply. And we do a full court to try to get them involved. I'll tell you what's weird, and this is why word of mouth is so powerful, Denise, and I appreciate you helping us get this word out. People don't trust free. They don't believe free. No cost. Yeah. Really? Free? And they don't believe it. They think we're really just fooling them. We're actually selling something. But I will give you my word. We are 100% philanthropic.
Yes, and I love that. And so how can we help? For those of us who are, we're listening to this, we're learning about your organization, we want to know, how can we help the education partnership with fulfill your mission? How can we donate? How can we give? What can we do?
Well, I think this is the topic that excites me the most, Denise, because I call them on-ramps. We have so many on-ramps to get on our highway, our mission. And there isn't anybody who can participate. We had a young girl come in with her family. I think she was 11 years old. She had her two brothers with her, and her mother brought her in because she heard about our mission and opened up a lemonade stand and raised $287.
Wow.
And found us, drove down, and handed that to us, and we almost fell through the floor. We have kids that are collecting school supplies in their classrooms. We have civic groups, churches that are collecting school supplies and office supplies. And we also do office supplies. So right now I'm in my van with, 10, 15 boxes from a corporation that did a product drive for us. They did product and cash. So the employees that didn't have school supplies or didn't have that graphing calculator that's sitting in everybody's drawer at home if your kids got older, if they didn't bring in supplies, then they brought in a check and cash, and both are very, very powerful. And then we come out and collect the school supplies. We'll bring them back to our resource center in the West End. We sort them, we inventory, count everything, and then we put them on the shelves for the teachers to take for the kids or for their classroom. So in a very real sense, this is very practical. We're a very practical application. And if there's nothing too small, 5 packs of pencils and a couple packs of markers, that adds up very quickly when you're talking about a whole community participating. So there's no gift too small for the organization. And if you conduct the drive, it's almost like a food bank. If you think about us as the food bank of school supplies, everything that you do, if you're holding an event, we've got kids changing their birthday parties from birthday gifts to school supplies. Bring something. And for corporations, if they want to clean house or purge, or they change names, they change addresses, that generates a lot of product that typically gets thrown away. We hate that. Don't ever throw anything away. We will collect it. You call us. We'll take letterhead. We'll take those folders, those binders that have your old name on it or your old address. Our kids don't care. Our teachers don't care if it has an out-of-date address. So
yes.
We are very involved in conservation, recycling, and we save tons of materials from landfill from corporations and businesses in the community. So it's a very important part of what we do.
I love that, Justin. I just love it. I mean, the whole time we're talking, I have goosebumps because, you know, now I have a 2-year-old and a 7-month-old as we currently speak. And, you know, and then also, like I said, being a teacher, this is just incredible. And you said something that really, really, really touched my heart. There is no gift too small. Just think about it. You know, you go to the store and maybe your child needs like an extra pack of pencils. Okay, well, then you can buy just an additional pack. I mean, just something that little. And then to think of a little one having a lemonade stand set up to take that money and donate it to the education partnership. I mean, that speaks volumes about
so cool.
the organization. Isn't that cool?
It is cool, you know, and when I started the organization, you know, most of the people I was talking to were adults. And I have to tell you, in the beginning, like I said, a lot of people don't understand this. And I'd have a harder time, you know, talking to people about, no, there really is a need. But what happened is we started a new program called Students for Students, and we started going into the schools in the more affluent neighborhoods. And when I look at those kids, 4th grade, 3rd grade, and say, you know what, we are working with a bunch of kids that don't have pencils and pens and markers. And what they look at me, I swear a 4th grader understands our mission better than anybody else on the planet.
Yes.
They get it. The kids get it. You mean there's kids that don't have school supplies? I have school supplies. Well, we got to do something about that. And they, you know, they go and pull on their, you know, their folks and say, hey, we're doing a fundraiser. Hey, we're doing a product drive. So we've had incredible relationships built, partnerships built with schools under this Students for Students campaign. And it's great now because with the opportunity you're presenting us, what can I do? There isn't a school out there that we don't have a message for. So either your school can participate in a way that will not only get us supplies and operating capital, it'll also sensitize and your children to the blessings that they have and not to take them for granted. So there's a wonderful teaching opportunity for parents and their children to get involved with this organization. In addition to that, we have a volunteer program that accepts parents with their children to come in and count our pencils, count the pencils, put them in tens, put them in packs, write a little note. We give you blank labels. We used to print the labels. Now we give blank labels and we let the students and the kids write on there, this was packed by a volunteer. You know, or you know, put a little happy face on there and you know, a little flower and let the kids know this was personally packed so that you can have what you need in the classroom. And I just love it. It's my favorite thing we do. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I just can only imagine the feeling that a child has whenever he or she, you know, receives those materials with those personal notes. And that just warms my heart just hearing about that. And so I guess I missed a question. I missed a golden moment, Justin. I should have asked you this first. Tell us about how this all began, and that's how we'll end. We'll end with the beginning. How about that? So tell us how you came about with this amazing birthing this organization. It's just incredible. Tell us about that.
Well, my favorite movies are the ones that play in reverse. So
good.
So I don't mind ending at the beginning at all. I had a varied background. First of all, I'm a musician. I'm a dedicated piano player. I've been playing piano all my life, and I absolutely love it. I'm playing tonight at a nursing home. So at the core of it, music's been a solid thread through my life. I'm an entrepreneur. You know, I had a recording studio and a publishing company, a record company, and then I had a wonderful season in corporate America where I really learned the skills to present, to make your taste known on a corporate level. And we've been very, very fortunate with corporate partners. So then it came a time in my career where the industry I was in the high-tech industry, was shutting down in Pittsburgh and moving, to the East Coast. And I wasn't at liberty, or I didn't desire to leave Pittsburgh. And a friend of mine came and said, have you ever considered nonprofit work? He said, you've always been community-oriented and community-concerned. And I was as clueless as you could be, and I ended up looking into it and really being intrigued by it, and did indeed try it. So I went to work for the Pittsburgh Leadership Foundation in 2002 as the first executive director of the Pittsburgh Community Storehouse. And that is a gift-in-kind organization which receives things and gives things away to those in need. And I got totally hooked. I got totally wrapped into it. The energy, and you'll see if you come, Denise, or any of your followers, the energy wrapped around this work is incredible. I think it's because it's real physical goods. There's just incredible energy surrounding it. So I just fell in love with it. We distributed $40 million worth of goods into the community at large through 200 nonprofit organizations, but we lost our lease. We lost our sublease, and we were orphaned out on the street. And then I learned, by trying to get us reestablished, I learned for the first time, like maybe a lot of your listeners will learn, that kids don't have what they need in a lot of our schools. And I said, are you kidding me? And I knew we had the skills and the experience and the forklifts and, all the warehouse experience, volunteer experience. I had all that experience, and I went to 14 cities across the country where they have this model. And I just decided that Pittsburgh really needs this. So I determined to come back to Pittsburgh. I started talking to foundations, and we were able to garner the support to launch this in Pittsburgh.
Oh, that is incredible. Well, I just cannot thank you enough for what you're doing. I try to speak on this topic without the tears, but it's almost impossible for me, having given children my all, literally and physically, from school supplies to my lunch. It's so real, and it's so sad, and it's something that I just think is a blessing that you're able to bring awareness to this issue, and also a solution, because oftentimes we hear about things, we talk about it, we complain about it, but very seldom, unfortunately, do you come across people who actually do something about it. So thank you for putting your heart into action. I cannot thank you enough. And I hope that my listeners, and I hope, through my platform, I'm able to really push the education partnership to make people aware that you're here and that we can just keep this going.
Well, I do appreciate the opportunity, and I thank you for your kind words. I've got the best job in the world, so, don't worry about me. I'm about as happy as a guy can be. It is the most rewarding work, pulling the good out of people and giving people an opportunity to shine all day long, and just be the best they can be. It's the best job in the world. And if I can encourage any of your listeners to do anything, we've been blessed by some wonderfully talented videographers, and they have captured some terrific videos on our website, right on the home page. And I would just really, it tells the story much better than I just did. See the look on the kids' faces, and like you said, you just can't even believe how excited they get when they receive their own brand new quality kit of school supplies. It's heartwarming. It really is.
Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to stay in touch with me by visiting www.deniseandlarosa.com, where you can sign up for my newsletter, get some valuable mommy resources, and giveaways. You can also follow me on Twitter at Denise and LaRosa, on Facebook, Mom Talk with Denise LaRosa, or email me at deniseandlarosa.com. You have been listening to Mom Talk with Denise LaRosa. I will leave you with this quote by Muhammad Ali. Service to others is the rent you pay for the room here on earth. Thank you for listening. Hi, it's Denise LaRosa. Thank you so much for visiting me on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and also check out some more videos. Stay a while and spread the word. I really hope that you spread the word to other mothers because I truly want to help all moms along their journey in motherhood. So let's do this mommy thing together, and thanks again for visiting.